Hello on Monday evening, and tonight's dinner is a mixed bean vegetarian chilli. Sort of winging it a bit, haven't really got a recipe, I'm kind of using what I've got. So I've got an onion, two cloves of garlic, big ones that I'm going to chop, a fresh chilli, I've got a couple of peppers, I've got a mushroom that needs using up, 2 carrots that I'm going to grate, some spinach, a tin of hot and spicy mixed beans, some balsamic vinegar, a tin of red kidney beans, and I've got some ground cumin, and some smoked paprika. So I'm going to start just by chopping the onion into medium-sized chunks, chopping the garlic finely and the chilli finely, and adding them to the pan, and then chopping up the rest of the veg. I'm going to grate the 2 carrots and add those to the pan with a splash of oil. Right, I've got the onion, the red pepper, the green pepper and the garlic in here, just as a sort of medium to low heat. You don't want it to brown, just to sort of soften up and just cook down a little bit. So keeping that going, and then I'm just going to grate the carrot, add that in, and chop the chilli and add that in as well. Right, this has been cooking down for about 10 minutes now. So I'm now going to add in the beans and also a tin of chopped tomatoes, which I forgot to mention at the beginning. I've drained the kidney beans, they were in liquid. These beans, the mixed beans, are hot and spicy and a spicy tomato sauce, so I'm not going to drain those ones. Right, I'm now going to add in the spice. I've got approximately 2 tablespoons of balsamic vinegar in there, which I am going to pop in. That's great for just giving it a little bit more depth of flavour and a little bit of sweetness as well. And then I'm going to go ahead with the spices. I never measure, but plenty of ground cumin, ground coriander and smoked paprika, all really nice spices with lots of depth of flavour. Right, the spices are in. I've also put a little bit of salt and pepper in. I'm going to cover that now and let it simmer away turn it right down to minimum and let it simmer away for about half an hour, something like that. Right, the chilli is ready. Ashley has taken his portion out because he doesn't like spinach, and I've just stirred the spinach through. I'm just waiting for that to wilt, and then I will serve it up. Right, this is my portion. We're just having it by itself, not with rice or anything tonight. I've got a little bit of grated cheese on top of it and a spoonful of half-fat creme fraiche. Without the cheese and the creme fraiche, this this comes out at around 230, 240 calories a portion, so quite nice and low, and does enable me to have the extras on top of that. The cheese is 100 calories and the creme fraiche is another 54 calories on top. Well, welcome to Wednesday's dinner, and we have got a cheesy, it's loosely based on this Slimming World recipe, which is cheesy chicken risotto, and it comes from the Take 5 book. I have added a couple of extra things. So we've got some long grain rice, a packet of mixed mushrooms from Asda, some 1 leek chopped, some chorizo sausage chopped, a vegetable stock pot. It said chicken in the recipe. I don't know why I've got vegetable rather than chicken, but potato, 1 large chopped chicken breast, and some grated parmesan. I've just worked out the calories for this. I reckon this is going to make 2 portions and a spare portion for lunch. If I base it on 2 portions, it's 565 calories a portion. So the first thing I'm going to do is pop the pan on, and I'm going to put the chorizo straight into the pan like that, because this will produce its own oil, so you don't need to use any extra oil at all in this recipe, which is great. So give that a few minutes and it will start smelling delicious. And what's the word I'm looking for? Oil will come out, it will start producing. There's a word I'm looking for, I don't know what it is. But yes, I'll show you when it's happened. Right, this is what I mean about it releasing all this lovely oil, so lovely, fragrant, smoky, paprika-y oil. So I'm now going to pop the leeks in as well. Give those a couple of minutes and then I will add the chicken. Right, I've now put the chicken breast and the mushrooms in, and I've cooked it all down a little, as you can see. At this point, you can turn it off and come back to it later, which I'm actually going to do because Ashley's not home from work yet. And once you put the rice in, you have to be standing and stirring all the time. So yeah, I get to this point and then I switch it off and then I warm it through again when I'm ready to start cooking it. Right, it's about an hour later. I have warmed the saucepan through and I've just added the rice. I'm just going to stir that through and get it coated in oil for a minute or so, and then start slowly adding the vegetable stock, which is over here, a little bit at a time, and keep stirring. It's nearly done. It's about 20 minutes later. I've just been standing here watching Instagram stories and stirring, and I've just decided to add a little bit of spinach in just because I had some, and to make it a little bit greener and up the veg count. Finally, I've just stirred the parmesan through, and this is ready to be served into nice warm bowls. And this is what it looks like. It smells absolutely delicious. Ashley's already eating his. There's a little bit left, about enough for lunch for one person tomorrow, so I reckon this probably came out at around 500 calories. Good evening, excuse my ridiculous hair. I've just had to put it out because it was really bugging me. Tonight I am cooking a new recipe to me. It is a mushroom and spinach pie. I saw this on, I don't know how to pronounce his surname, it's Luke Catleur. I honestly don't know how to pronounce it. I'll link his channel below. But he does some, he's vegetarian, he does some really good vegetarian recipes. I get quite a lot of inspiration from his recipes. So I thought I'd copy shamelessly and cook it and see how it comes out, because it looked delicious on his YouTube channel. So without further ado, these are the ingredients. We've got half a red onion here. We've got some chestnut mushrooms. I've also got these mushrooms out just to add into it because they need using up, as you can see. We've got a bag of spinach, baby spinach. We've got some ready rolled puff pastry. That is the height of laziness, isn't it? Not only is it ready made pastry, it's ready rolled. We've got some thyme, we've got some mustard powder, we've got some cider, we've got some flour, and we've got some mango chutney, a very little bit of mango chutney there. And those are the ingredients, and we start by finely chopping the onion, and I think Luke used shallots in his version, but I've got half a red onion that needs using, so that'll do. And then I'm going to chop into quite big chunks the mushrooms and get them going with some olive oil in a pan. Okay, we have mushrooms and onions sweating away in there. I'm now going to add, I forgot to tell you, I'm also going to add a vegetable stock pot and garlic granules to this. So I'm going to add these for now. I don't know in what amounts, just however much I feel is appropriate. Sorry, I'm hopeless at amounts, but I'm going to pop those in. I haven't put the vegetable stock pot in, I've just done the garlic granules, mustard and thyme. Smells amazing. I'm now going to pop in a tablespoon or two of flour. If I can open the container. There we are. Probably like that much of a tablespoon. And just give that a good stir in. Right, I'm now going to start adding the cider and keep stirring until I've got the consistency I want. I'm also going to pop the vegetable stock pot in at this point and just keep stirring it until I've got a nice thick sauce. Okay, this is what it looks like. I've added in what I had of the mango chutney. I've added in a little bit of other chutney as well, just to give it a bit of sweetness, as I hardly had any mango chutney left. And I've just seasoned it with some black pepper. I haven't put any salt in, as the stock pots are usually quite salty. The last thing you do is stir through some cubes of cheddar. Actually, it's not. I'm telling you a lie. Last thing you do is pop, or not the last thing at all. Rewind. I'm going to put a whole bag of spinach into this. Right, the spinach is in and wilted. And the final thing before we put the lid on the pie is we're going to put these cubes of cheddar cheese in. I'm not going to melt them down while they're on the stove. I'm just going to pop them in, stir them through and start assembling the pie. Right, here's my pie ready to go into the oven. I've got some extra bits of pastry which I'll just cook and break up for the birds tomorrow morning. I'm excited. It's 30 minutes at 180 or 200 fan? No, 180 fan, 200 normal. Pie has come out of the oven. Look at how nice it looks. Yummy. Can't wait to eat that. And she's just doing some Cavolo Nero to go with it. Cavolo Nero?
Yeah.
That sounds wrong. Cavolo Nero. I completely forgot to show you the pie, film it when it was ready, but this is a picture of it after I'd started eating it, so I apologise, it doesn't look its best, but it was absolutely delicious. Good evening, and this video has taken me so long to complete for various reasons. I don't really know why actually, but we are now into proper dark outside, horrible orange kitchen light when I do cooking segments in the evening. So tonight's dinner is something that Ashley and I don't like, weirdly. It's gnocchi, and I found this recipe for crispy gnocchi in the green roasting tin. It's with roasted peppers, chilli, rosemary and ricotta. However, we're not massive fans of ricotta, so I've decided to substitute that with feta, and I'm also adding some extra ingredients of my own invention. We're seeing if we can get on with gnocchi if I do it crispy in this recipe. It's oven baked in this recipe, and it sounds really nice. It's a meat-free recipe. All the recipes in this book are vegetarian and vegan. Not all of them are vegan. There's a mixture of vegetarian and vegan, I should say. And I've started off by chopping up a red pepper. I'm about to halve these cherry tomatoes. I've also chopped up about a third of a red onion in there because it needed using up. It's not in the recipe. So yeah, halve these, and then I'm going to venture out there to get some rosemary from the garden. Probably should have done that earlier on, shouldn't I? Right, since you last saw this, I've added some chopped rosemary, a large clove of crushed garlic. I've added the halved cherry tomatoes, and I've also added a couple of peppers that are in the bottom of this jar of roasted red peppers that needed using up. Now I was also going, because I didn't have enough tomatoes, as the recipe called for, I was going to add some of this jar of salsa, but I feel like, looking at the quantities, that is going to be enough vegetables to pasta, I think. What I'm going to do is mix, it also doesn't say this in the recipe, but I'm going to do it. Oh, and I've forgotten to put in 2 bay leaves. Another trip outside to get 2 bay leaves off the bay tree. Heavens. When I've done that though, I'm going to add a generous tablespoon of olive oil to this, just so everything mixes a little bit better, I think. Right, sorry, the light's even worse here. I have added a little bit of chopped frozen chorizo to this because I thought that would be nice as an addition. And now this is the gnocchi, and I'm going to put boiling water over it, leave it for 2 minutes and then drain it well. And then everything goes straight into this roasting tin, gets mixed well, and it goes into the oven for 30 minutes. And about 10 minutes before the end, I'm going to chop up some of this. It is still the same day, I've just got changed since I was last talking to you and put my hair up. I'm going to chop up some of this feta and add that about 10 minutes before the end, so that cooks a little bit as well. And then I'm going to serve it with a rocket salad. Yeah, so it's all fairly simple really. It goes into the oven at 200 degrees fan, or 220 if it's not. A rare sighting of Ron. I gave Ron some chicken earlier. So, oh, I haven't got anything else for you. Right, this is what it looks like, all ready to go into the oven. So I'm going to pop that in, and after about 20 minutes I'm going to check it and see how it's doing, and see if it looks like it needs to have the cheese put in at that point. It's meant, the gnocchi is meant to be golden and crispy, so that's the aim. Okay, it's just come out of the oven. It smells delicious. going to serve up. And here it is. It smells nice. It's got the smells nice seal of approval from Mr. Matthews as well.
Yeah, looks good.
And I'm looking forward to eating it. Welcome to our final recipe for this video. Excuse the horrible light, it's very dark in the evening, so it shows how long I've been filming this video for, doesn't it? We started with fairly light evenings and now we're at very dark evenings. Anyway, tonight's dinner is an all-in-one sweet potato Thai curry done in the oven, and it's from this book, which I love. I don't know if I've already mentioned this recipe book in this video. Here are the ingredients for tonight's dinner, and we've got a packet of straight to wok noodles. Now, it required normal straight to wok noodles, but they were out of stock at Tesco, so I have got these udon ones which are slightly thicker, which means I'm going to have to modify the cooking method somewhat. A whole red chilli split, lemongrass split, 750 grams of sweet potatoes cut into 1 centimetre rounds. This is some grated ginger, vegetable stock pot which I'm about to make up with some boiling water, some 2 cloves of garlic, some chopped coriander, a whole tin of coconut milk and the juice of 1 lime. So that is the ingredients for this evening's dinner. I forgot to mention that I'm also adding in some prawns to this. The recipe doesn't ask for it, but I'm going to pop these in because they're already cooked. I've just defrosted them and taken the skins and tails off. They will go in at the end of cooking with the noodles. So what I've done so far is put the sweet potatoes, the ginger, the chilli, the ginger, the garlic, the chilli, the lemongrass into a fairly deep sort of roasting dish, and I'm going to add the coconut milk and some boiling vegetable stock to this. Then it goes into the oven for 45 minutes uncovered on 180. Right, so this is what it looks like with the liquid added. It's almost over the top there. I can just move those around. It should sit sort of level. Smells absolutely amazing already, so I'm going to pop that into the oven for 45 minutes. Right, I've just taken it out of the oven after 45 minutes, and you have to check that the sweet potato is cooked through, which it is. And in the recipe it says to add the noodles in, the wok noodles, and just leave it for 5 minutes. But I think because the noodles are quite big and I also want to warm the prawns through, I'm going to put them... Oh, sorry, that's my timer going off on my watch. I think what I'm going to do is put them in and pop it back in the oven for 5 minutes. I'm going to turn the oven down a bit though. Okay, it's all served up. This is what it looks like. I forgot to take the large chilli out of there. I better do that before I serve it up. But yeah, smelling good.